The consumer, that's just people like you and me, continue to impress me. The entire economy is hanging on their shoulders, and yet, in spite of everything to the negative, they're hanging in there. But because of inflation, the consumer currently has only about 69 cents in his or her pocket compared to a dollar back in 2017. And that's a loss of 31% of their purchasing power in just under 10 years. And at some point, that's going to hurt. Let me show you. This is disposable personal income versus real disposable personal income. It's essentially the money in your pocket. That's the top blue line here, is personal income in nominal dollars. That's today's dollars. And the green dotted line below that is after you take inflation out of the equation, and that's in 2017 dollars. Now, as you can see, after inflation, the dotted green line, the consumer spending income has dropped about 31% over just the last few years. Now, let's step back and look at it from the 30,000 foot level. There are 17 data points here that I follow, all dealing with the health of the consumer. 9 are in the red, which is essentially pointing towards the negative. 4 are green, again, pointing towards the positive, and 4 are flat. Question, what's this telling us? First, to the positive. The consumer is still stepping up to the plate and spending money, and that's good. Personal consumption expenditures, both of non-durable goods as well as durable goods, are positive. The delinquency rate on credit cards has dropped down a notch, and that is a positive sign as well. In both employment and unemployment numbers are flat. So the employment picture at the moment is positive, so that's good. The challenge is that personal savings rates are down, and so is consumer confidence. Now, having said that, let's take a look at all these data points one at a time. If you're looking to buy or sell commercial property, finance and economics is the universal language you need to be up to speed on. The question is, are you facing headwinds or tailwinds when it comes to pricing? Now, on that front, if you want to learn more, just drop down below this video and hit the More link in the description box. That will show you a number of educational videos I put on that will help you personally evaluate and price both business and commercial assets. Personal consumption expenditures are up 6.25% over the last 12 months, and that's good. Next, we'll take a look at personal consumption of non-durable goods. Non-durable good expenditures are up 8%. These are things like food and beverages or personal care, cosmetics, cleaning, paper supplies, things like that. And they're up 8%, which again is very good. Next, we'll take a look at durable goods. Durable goods are up over 5%. Well, actually, they're over 5.5%. Durable goods are things like automobiles, household appliances, electronics, and again, that's awful good. Next, we'll look at the delinquency rate on credit cards. Delinquency rate on credit cards has dropped down about 3%. And again, that's really good. I know I'm going a bit fast here, but I'm trying not to bore you to death. We'll look at unemployment next. The unemployment rate is currently at 4.2%. Now, historically, anything below 5 is not considered great. In fact, historically, anything below 5 would be considered recessionary territory. And you can see that with all these red circles during periods of recession. And this is going back over 75 years. But having said that, this is unemployment just over the last year. And it actually looks pretty good. So I'm giving unemployment a thumbs up at the moment because it's been hanging in there. Next, in regard to the economy, a couple of things to the negative. First, we'll look at the savings rate, and then we'll look at consumer confidence. First, the savings rate. This is the personal savings rate of all the people across the country. And as you can see, it's dropped down from 6.4% to just around 3% in the last 24 months. It's a sign that the consumer is, kind of tapped out. The last time we were this low was leading up to the 2008 recession. So arguably, this is not positive. This, again, is where inflation is biting into the consumer's pocketbook. And as you might expect, this is affecting consumer confidence. Consumer confidence has been sliding for the last 3 to 4 years, and consumer confidence is currently historically in recession territory. And although I don't show it here, consumer expectations are also negative, and expectations have been sliding down for the last couple of years. So all in all, the consumer is doing okay. They're still spending money, but they're just not buying as much. As such, they're having to dip into their savings. And consumers across the board are not all that happy about it. It's something to keep an eye on. If you're a realtor and looking for an upgrade, you might give EXP a try. You won't regret it.